Long live CJ, long live AJ, long live Birthday, long live Louise, long live Keisha. Y'all gon' SIPA, y'all gon' what y'all gon' live on through my replay.
I can't take it back when I get home. I can't rewind my videos and songs. So I close my eyes and see where you go. I will make sure you live on.
Long live CJ, long live AJ. I see you on my Facebook, YouTube in LA. And you gone, but you gon' live on through my replay. Girls crying when they Snapchatting SIPA. And we going live when we riding on the DA. Yeah, I know I can't replace your life, homie, but you ride and die, fight for me. But now we hold the signs and we march in the streets. Push a line on the crooked police. In the back of my mind, I know we probably never be free. But baby, don't cry. Shit, they got a heaven for G's if I die. My legacy is all I leave behind. And I'ma live long in the phone. Just press play, baby, I'm home. Email, text me, baby, I'm gone. You'll never be alone. And the fools that did me wrong will always see my face until their kids get grown. Karma's a bitch, they'll probably die young. Ain't no heaven for a devil, cause the way I was done. Push the pedal to the metal, may you all live on. Yeah, long live my niggas is gone. And long live my niggas stay strong. And long live my niggas in songs, videos, and the Snapchat. Baby, I'm home. Baby, I'm home. Yeah, baby, I'm home.
I can't rewind my videos and songs. So I close my eyes and see where you go. I will make sure you live on. See, I'm running out of places to run, and they ain't fighting, they got a gun. So how in the hell can I live on? And they'll take my life, won't see it's wrong.
Hey, shit. I don't live in flesh, nigga. And I know the realest can test, nigga. That's why a nigga got a fucking vest, nigga. Scanner in a hammer and work for the press, nigga. So I could tell a nigga what's best, nigga. When it comes to death and how police arrest niggas. But it don't mean shit if I don't bless niggas. SIP, rest IP, nigga, for the rest, nigga. So long live CJ, long live AJ, long live Birthday, long live Louise, long live Keisha, SIPA. Y'all gon' live long in my video replay. Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Y'all from, go ahead. I'm gone, but I'm home. But I'm home. It's your boy Mason Knight 333. We're on 3443 Manchester Avenue, which would be considered the old Simpsons cemetery, who recently was shut down for some time and then just reopened, where the body of Anthony Weber, better known as AJ, lays to rest. So we do know as of right now there has been no arrest made by the district attorney when you know, the shooting occurred. It's been almost 2.5 weeks. Still no gun, still no arrest being made. Now I do know that, you know, the family has stressed over and over again whenever there is someone who was shot and killed in the community that they get different treatment versus, you know what I'm saying, when law enforcement does it or somebody from the community does it. So I do want to say long live AJ, long live CJ, long live all those who are gone and forgotten at this point. But definitely no arrest being made right now. Today is the funeral for Anthony Weber, the 16-year-old who was shot down on Super Bowl weekend or Super Bowl day just some time ago by South LA sheriffs. I had the privilege to sit down with the father of Anthony Weber, John Weber, and he expressed his concerns about the autopsy this week. And he actually went into this, I guess, either some place where they had his son's body, not sure where, but took pictures of his son's, you know, body to see where the entry and exit wounds of the shots that were fired by Los Angeles County sheriffs struck him. And mind you, if you have kids who are watching this, or if you have an issue on, you know, seeing graphic video, you might want to, you know, excuse yourself or someone from the room. But he gave me these photos to put out in the community because I understand his approach is a lot of times these situations get covered up by, you know, attorneys and news not really covering it, but he's allowing the community to have a first-hand, you know, investigation themselves and to kind of lead them through any clues that might be missing, as well as, you know, any information that you may have. You know, you can email, blog, or write in the comments of this video. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm real sorry, you know, about that. But I want to try to get it out there. And please, let's just walk through it one time. What happened to my son? What did you see?
So I heard about, we can say, it sounded like a load was shot at him, and 2 seconds later, there was like 5 more shots.
Yes.
And when I called 911, I called from a cell phone, so I know they then transferred me to the right county, I believe. And I told the girl, like, hey, they shooting, send police. And then she told me where, and I stated where exactly. And she put me right automatically after that. She didn't say they're on their way or anything. She literally put me in a recording that says 911, it's only for emergencies. So then I hung up and I came running outside, and all his friends were upstairs right against the stairs that way, and there was only like 5 more people down here. That was one of the other neighbors and myself, and I was gonna run to your son, but the police that was standing here was like, don't get near him, don't get near him. And we seen your son struggling on breathing, and when I looked up, because I seen everything like slow motion, the police, he was like tall, light-skinned. He was just looking at your son like suffering, not even giving him no CPR, not trying to help him survive or anything. And all, you just hear his friends saying, give him CPR, help him out. And there was, I don't know why they're saying there was like 40 people out here when there wasn't. Everybody was so terrified, they stayed inside their house. The only people that came out was myself and another neighbor. And they didn't even let us get near him at all. So there was like a couple of feet away, you could have seen him just laying there. And then I went and checked on my sister to check if she was okay, because there was so many gunshots fired. We really thought it was like multiple people that got injured, but it was only one person.
It's your boy Mason 9333. We're in between Bud Long and 4,000 block of Bud Long, where there's been an officer involved shooting again, like the ones we've already been on this week. Seems like there's a repetitious flow of bullets from law enforcement lately.
And police approached me. They came down the street. They came down 40th Place with license sirens on at a high rate of speed. stopped at me and asked me, did I see anybody running by here? And I was like, no sir, I haven't seen anyone run by here. And I repeated myself. I was like, no sir, I didn't see anybody run by here. And we had the road off, going down Fortis Place, closed off at Kansas, so he made a right and went up Kansas Street and circled around, I guess. And then moments after that, seconds after that, a second cop car came along. He didn't ask me any questions. He just made a right up Kansas and came around to the job site. And by the time I got my lunchbox and was walking back to my vehicle, I just heard the shots fired, blah, 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 and brother was laid on the ground.
Mic check. It's your boy Mason I333. We're on the corner of 7th, 8th, and Hoover, where there's been a containment set up on this house right behind me. When I got here, initially the car came out as barricaded, possible person with a gun. But of course, when I got here, there was people already in handcuffs. But interesting thing today I've seen. For the first time ever, since my 21 years, LAPD has breached a house, put on helmets, grabbed them mini 14s in the back, and actually walked into this residence with breaching tools. So, given the fact that SWAT normally comes out to these calls, it'd be interesting to see how the next calls are going to kind of escalate, you know. I don't know why they had a reason to breach on this other than there was a person inside the house supposedly with a gun, but you would think that they would possibly wait for personnel or SWAT who can handle a breaching situation. But very, very serious here with the heightened alert of Trump's speech on the MS-13s. Does that require all of the gangs, or all the gangs put in that executive order where LAPD don't have to have a warrant, or somehow, some way. So initially they breached the house, didn't wait for SWAT, and it was really on scene and A Million Hits.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, thank you. All right, Clint. So we got some concerned citizens here, really wary about the breaching without a warrant. Breaching the house is a new thing now. You know, I guess LAPD is about to find out how dangerous, I guess, being a regular patrol officer is. So all people are out. They was kind of concerned. We had a few kids that was taken out the house with no clothing, so they got the clothing and actually were allowed to, you know, kind of dress the kids with a sheet and cover. So, boy, Mason I333. I have seen some historical things in my time, but this breaching is something special. So, y'all email, blog, and you know, give LAPD your thoughts on the new law. Obviously, it must be something I don't know about, or we don't know, that's cooking in their pot. So, email, blog, tell me what you think. It's your boy Mason Knight 333. You watching A Million Hits 2018. Peace. A Million Hits wants you to definitely go fund the person who was shot on Van Ness and Century about a few weeks ago, where male Hispanic was shot by 77th Division responding to a 211 at a weed dispensary. Now, initially when I got there, there was, you know, officers kind of in a format of, you know, in a sort of like a triangular shooting pattern. You know, what this dude was basically, some of the people there was saying that he possibly was shot from both angles. And given the trajectory of where the shell casings or the evidence laid, you could almost see the pattern of where the shots were fired. And it was early in the morning. So thank God nobody was in Domino's or the weed dispensary itself, but apparently cut a hole through the roof, and apparently it was either him and possibly two other guys with him. So, but that's speculation. But apparently he came out and supposedly fired 2 shots at you know, the responding officers who were called there by silent alarm. Apparently, he didn't really get a chance to do anything, because after those shots were fired, they opened fire with a AR-15 from one direction and possibly from both directions, because as you can see, the bullet holes in the gate was pretty much large size caliber of, you know, weaponry that they used to subdue this person and fatally shoot him. But yeah, if you're shooting at officers, you definitely are asking for it in a sense, so they're gonna give it to you. And in this case, this is sort of like a Wild Wild West shooting where there was gonna be some protests from Black Lives Matter who showed up, and they still ended up, you know, pouring libation out for, you know, this little brown brother that was killed right there on Van Ness and Century. But if you leave any donations, definitely put the location of where you want the, you know, the money to go to, and we can get in touch with the family for funeral expenses, because victims of crime unfortunately doesn't cover when someone gets shot by law enforcement. They don't cover the funeral, and he's not entitled to the $7,500 that victims of crime pay. So if you're watching this, it's almost like the community has to bury the victims of A Million Hits, because you know, I'm responsible for the footage as well as putting it out there. And I put some money on my own GoFundMe to help in the cause as well. So you'll see me entering the first pledge of $10 to the A Million Hits site itself. So go to A Million Hits, go to About, click on About this channel, and you'll see the GoFundMe area. Click on that, it'll send you the link directly to the GoFundMe account. And you know, I guess via credit card or prepaid, you can put the amount and specifically put in titles of where you want the money to go to. Now, I will do a follow-up and on this story, and then actually tape when we go drop off the money to some of these victims. But big gone and never forgotten for the male Hispanic male killed right there on Century and Van Ness by LAPD 77 during the 211 call. So this is A Million Hits. You're watching A Million Hits 2018. A very touching episode. We seen AJ pretty much put to rest this week. We seen you know, the male Hispanic who was killed, left in the trunk by, you know, God knows who would put somebody in the trunk. But very eerie situation. You know, do you fight at where you at, or do you scream, kick, leave some DNA, or do you just get put in the trunk? You know, and no one knows the day and the hour and how we gonna go. But to die like that is very, very frightening. It's very scary of a situation, and it's very sad to see that no candle lights was put down at all at the scene. I went back to check and see that. I always go back and do the follow-up. But yeah, GoFundMe A Million Hits, GoFund A Million Hits, or go to the website, click on the link About, you know. So we taking on our own campaign in the streets and helping our own people that's gone and definitely never forgotten. So it's your boy Mason I333. You watching A Million Hits 2018. Peace.
Long live CJ, long live AJ, long live Birthday, long live Elise, long live Cliche. Y'all gon' miss our PA, y'all gon' live on through my replay.